are not able to. Okay, so I think you have to accept that. Okay, I'm also going to close my door in case the dog barks. All right, so I'm going to share my screen and we'll jump right in. All right, so welcome to the Living the Time of Your Life Masterclass. And I want to talk about why we're doing this today, because why did I want to put together this masterclass, and why did you come and join me today for 30 minutes? And my goal is to give you a practical framework with techniques for good time management and tools for effective mind management, so you can focus on what's important to you without feeling overwhelmed. And why do we want to do that? That's because we all want to live a happier and healthier life instead of getting bogged down in our to-do lists and being confused by what we need to do next because we have so many competing obligations. So I think that all of you know me, but in case you don't, I am Jamie Jackson Spanhake, and I am an attorney who practiced law for 17 years, and I'm a certified coach and author of the book, The Lawyer, the Lion, and the Laundry. And I help professionals live happier and healthier lives through one-on-one coaching and group programming like this. Also a blog called Calm in the Chaos. I'm on social media. I hope that I've seen you there. I know I've seen most of you there. And I also write for Attorney at Work on a monthly basis, and for some other publications. So this is what we're going to cover today. We are going to learn how to figure out what you truly want in life, and we're going to do that with a personal values statement exercise. Then we're going to start the process of gaining an extra hour or extra time in every day. And we're going to do that with one of my favorite exercises, which is the 168 hours exercise. And if you've read my book, which Lisa and Dina, I know you have, you've heard of this exercise before. And then we'll have action items and takeaways and question and answer. So if you have questions, you can put them in the chat or save them till the end. With one exception, if you have questions while we're doing the exercises, feel free to just chime in and ask those questions. All right, so let's start the first exercise, which is figuring out what's important to you by creating your personal values statement. And I just want to chat with you for a minute, so I'm going to stop sharing screen. So why do we want to, hello to everyone who joined. Why do we want a personal value statement? And what is a personal value statement? Well, personal value statement is like a company's mission statement. It's like a school's guiding principles. It's the thing that helps us know what's important to us. It's the framework for what we want our life to look like. And it's important because it's the foundation for everything in our life. And it's going to be the foundation for everything that we cover over these 3 days. When we have a personal value statement, we have this defined framework of what's important to us in our life. And that makes it easier for us to prioritize what we want to do, because we know what's most important to us because we've defined it in our personal value statement. And it makes it a lot easier to make decisions because, say, for example, you're presented with an opportunity and you don't know if it's the right opportunity for you, then you can refer to your personal value statement. And if the opportunity is moving you in the direction of the life that you want, as you've defined it in your personal value statement, then you know maybe this is the right opportunity for me to take. And if it moves you away from that vision, then you know it's not the right opportunity for you, or maybe it's not the right opportunity for you right now. Another important aspect of a personal value statement is It ensures that all the work that we do to achieve the goals or get to the places that we say we want to get to in life, that we actually like those places when we get there. Because we can work really hard toward a goal and then we get there and realize, I don't really like this. I know that I've done that in my past, especially with career. And so when we have a really defined personal value statement, a clear picture of what we want our life to be like, and all these different aspects that we're going to talk about, then the work that we do, the energy that we put in, gets us to a place that actually leads to a better life for us. It doesn't lead to a feeling of emptiness, of empty success. And so the personal value statement can be the basis for a happy life, a happier life. And it can make us feel more fulfilled in our life because what we're doing is moving us toward the place that we have defined as what we want our life to be like. All right, so how do we do this? The best way to create a personal value statement is to ask ourselves pointed questions. And so these are the personal values statement questions. Now, these are also from my book. And so we're going to do an exercise where we're going to journal for 3 minutes and answer as many of these questions as we can. You can answer all of them shortly. You can focus on just a couple of them and answer very deeply. But before we start doing that, I want you to consider and think about what you want in your life, what you want your life to look like. You can tweak the definition, you can tweak the personal value statement as often as you need, as things change in your life, as goals change. But keep in mind that oftentimes our values don't change, even though our goals do. So we're going to write out the answers to these questions. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to do that. And then we'll reconvene and we will work on writing the personal values statement. All right, so I'm going to set a timer and give you 3 minutes. I'll leave these questions up so you can see them. We have 2 more minutes, just so you know where we are in the time. We have 1 more minute. 15 more seconds, so wrap up your final thought. Okay. So now that we have answers to at least some of those questions, we want to take that information and create our own personal values statement. So this is based on your answers to the questions. And this is helping you define what you really want in life. So your personal values statement might start with, I want, or what matters most to me is, or I value. Let me give you 2 minutes and we are going to look at your answers to the questions and start crafting a mission statement, a personal value statement. You won't complete it right now. It will take some finessing, but start the process. And after our time together here, you can journal about it and complete your personal value statement. All right, so I'll give you 2 minutes. One more minute.
Why? Because she's 2 days to be overdrawn.
All right, 15 more seconds. So just wrap up your sentence that you're working on now. All right. So hopefully you are making progress on creating your personal value statement. It is a process. So you're going to want to come back to it after our time together today. But in the interest of sticking to our 30 minutes, we're going to move on. But hopefully this has gotten you thinking about what's really important to you in life, which can help along the way through this masterclass. All right, so the next topic that we want to think about is how can we get more time in our day? I promised you that this masterclass could help you find an extra hour in your day. And we're going to start that process today by talking about the reality of time, because we all have the same amount of time, which is 168 hours in a week. And so I want to talk to you about that. I'm going to stop sharing. So it's important for us to be realistic about how much time we have. We have 168 hours in a week. Everybody does. And the reason it's important to be realistic about that is because we can set ourselves up to fail. No matter how great our time management skills are, no matter how focused we are, no matter how productive and efficient we are, if we are trying to do more than 168 hours of stuff every week. So it's important to assess what we're doing with our time so we know what to do to create the life that we want. So we're going to do one of my favorite exercises, which is called the 168 hours exercise, because there are 168 hours in a week. And there's two ways that you can do the exercise. You can either look at your actual week, think about your actual weeks and how much time you spend in each category of thing. And I'm going to put a slide up that shows you what categories I'm talking about. I'll do that now. The other way you can do this exercise is to do it aspirationally. So to think about how much time you actually want to spend doing these things. So these are the categories of things that I'm talking about. So these are sort of the details of what you need and want in your life. So things like sleep, work, relationships, exercise, hobbies, your household responsibilities, like all the stuff that just has to get done. Commuting and driving, especially if you, like me, are sort of a taxi driver to a child, that can be really time consuming. How much time are you spending doing that stuff? And then any other categories that are specific to you and your life. And what we want to do, I have a sample here, is quantify the time. So these are some examples. Say you want to sleep 8 hours a night. That's 7 days a week. That's 56 hours a week. Say you work 8 hours a day. Maybe you work 10 hours a day. Maybe you work 4, whatever it is. Your daily hours times 7 is the number of hours that you need each week to do that thing. Here's yoga. I like to do yoga twice a week for an hour. That's 2 hours a week. Household responsibilities, 2 hours a week cleaning and 1 hour straightening. That's 3 hours a week. So these are examples of what I'm talking about. So what we're going to do, and again, I'm going to give you 3 minutes to do it, is you want to try to quantify your time that you're spending or that you want to spend on all the stuff that needs to happen in a given week. And then at the end, we're going to add it up and see how many hours you need to do all that. So I'll give you 3 minutes. And put the categories back up on the slide if that's helpful. We're halfway through, so another minute and a half. All right, we have 30 seconds left. So go ahead and start adding up your time. Okay, if you are like me, you may find something like this. When I do this exercise, this is what I get. 188.5 hours a week, which means I need 27 hours in a day to do everything I want and need to do. So I'm sure you see what the problem is here, is that no matter how great I am at time management, no matter how productive I am, I can't possibly do it. So I've set myself up to fail. And so it's important for us to be realistic about what we can accomplish in a given week. Now, tomorrow, we're going to talk about what to do about it. What do we do now that we know we're trying to pour more activities into our days than the cup of time allows? And this is where we're going to find extra time in our day, because I haven't figured out how to create more time. If you have, please let me know. But we can reduce what we must do. And that doesn't necessarily mean doing less. It might mean having a team of people help us. It might mean doing things in a different way. And it might mean not doing some things. So that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. So our review for today is our personal value statement, which is the foundation for our happier and healthier life. Being realistic about our time. Are we trying to do more than is possible? And our action items and takeaways are going to be completing your personal value statement, so you have that framework to rely on for the rest of the masterclass and the rest of your life, and to complete or revise 168 hours exercise if you weren't able to get through everything in 3 short minutes, which you may not have been able to do. So I am going to stop sharing my screen, and we can have some questions if anyone has questions. Feel free to unmute yourselves or comments.
I can comment.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's a good exercise. I mean, I don't know how practical it is, but I'm thinking the way life is now, I control the sleep hours. I think I can set that. And I control the 2 hours in the morning and in the last 2 hours in the night. Those are the only things I control. So what is happening is, may not be a bad thing, is everything is part of the day. I mean, I work pretty much through the day because I take calls and all that. I talk to my family during the day.
Yeah.
You know, when we work at home, I talk to people. I fit in some exercise too. I don't have any hobbies as such like that. I try and do chores. It's kind of a crazy way to live, I think, this day. But people live this way these days. I think it's still in modern life because we do everything in that period of time. You know, we do the chores, especially if you're self-employed. You can run and get things done in between.
Right.
Meals do take up time sometimes. You know, if you're cooking and stuff. You know. I'm just saying to you, this is like it's helped me think a little bit more about what I can do to at least get some structure in this chaos.
Yes. Right. We may not be able to say at 1 o'clock, I'm going to do this, and at 2:30, I'm going to do that. But we can say there's going to be a 30-minute window of time at some point today where I want to make sure I call my brother, right? Or whatever it is.
Right. Or the children, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking the relationship part is, if you have meals with family, that itself is a big component of that, you know, to make it a point.
Yeah.
to make sure
And-
my son was still at home, can, eats with us, and we eat together all the time too,
Right.
make sure of that.
Yeah. And so one of the things we're going to talk about tomorrow is how to take the too many activities, if we have too many of them, and make them fit in our lives in our day with a particular exercise we'll do tomorrow. And does anyone else have questions or comments?
I have,
a comment. Oh, sorry.
go ahead, Dina.
Okay. I was just gonna say, because mine, like, I struggled. I realized how much time I waste in a week. Because I'm like, if I was like, I'm missing so many hours, and I'm like, oh well, if I add video games as a category, then
Right.
So that's kind of made me realize like how I should probably think about it the other way, and how I can actually, do more with my time. Because I always sit there and say, I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to do that. And I'm like looking at this, and I'm like, I have like 30 hours to do that.
Right. Yeah, that's another benefit of this exercise is for people who find they're not doing enough, right? Is they see all the time they actually do have when they felt like they didn't have the time. What about you, Lisa?
I was just going to say, when it comes to household chores or responsibilities, as you like to call them, I was like, oh, I felt pretty good about them. Like I like things neat and clean, and my kids are older now, so I have that luxury. But I will just say, I was like, oh yeah, no, I feel pretty good about that. I guess that was, I'm like, yeah. I mean, my house isn't a mess or anything, right? And I'm like, it's just not something anyone probably, well, maybe some people look forward to doing, right? But I'm
Right.
like, okay, I feel like I'm okay in that category. And
Yeah.
it made me see too, like that I feel like I'm doing a lot of things well, like the sleep, because it's a priority.
Mhm.
And I love pairing that with the personal, what's it called again? Personal
Value statement.
value statement.
Yeah.
Like these are they are pretty well aligned. I'm sure I can do some more, adjusting,
Uh-huh.
but overall, I feel like this is a great exercise to go, okay, I feel like I'm doing okay.
Yeah, it's a great exercise for helping us realize how productive we actually are, because oftentimes at the end of the day, all that we focus on is all the stuff we didn't do. We forget about all the stuff that we actually accomplished. We just feel bad about what we didn't accomplish. So it's another that's another benefit of it. All right, so that is our 30 minutes. We crammed a lot in. I hope that it got you thinking and you can use these tools and come back tomorrow for day 2. If you have any questions in the meantime, just email me, jamie@spanhake.com. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks,
Sounds
Jamie.
good, Jamie. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Dinesh.
Bye.